Hello again, and welcome to our second video. It's plus 49 Frost Resistance. Again, I am Steven.
I'm Zach.
Excellent. So, today's video, or I guess this week's video, going to be talking about Halo 5. And yeah, I know we're a couple weeks late, but we've both had a chance to play through the campaign and gather our thoughts on it. So, how about you go ahead and start us off? What did you think of the campaign?
Overall, I did like the campaign, but it did have a lot of parts that I didn't like in the campaign. Not enough to stop playing Halo, but
right.
It like every time, like I played it several times through, and each time like the same things kind of bother me a little bit.
Okay.
How did you think of it? Did you like it?
Yeah, I first playthrough, I was excited. It's a new Halo.
Yeah.
I enjoyed the new features of 5. But after it was over, played through, stuff started nagging at me. So yeah, I mean, I definitely have some issues with it. So to start off, what's like your first thing that just kind of bugs you right off?
Well, I'm glad they brought in Locke, a new team.
Mm-hmm.
I like them great, but for me, it was not enough blue team.
Agreed.
I thought I could use a little bit more of Master Chief and blue team, because the whole time they were talking about him being the only Spartan left, and then you find out there's other Spartan 2s out there that are still alive. So
yeah,
I was hoping to see them get more more from them.
Well, and I agree. Especially because Halo 4 was the return of Master Chief and really the introduction to the Spartan 4s.
Yeah.
And if you've been watching or reading any of the books or whatnot, that plenty has been done about the Spartan 4s. So when they're like, okay, we're bringing back Blue Team, and then they didn't do much with Blue Team except have them be almost silent AIs just following you around, it was really disappointing, especially given the history of Master Chief and Blue Team. And I really felt they undermined both Master Chief's new situation, with the loss of Cortana, but also the reunion with Blue Team. So yeah.
I understand they were never big talkers to begin with, but still, I expected a lot more from them. They're a family. When you're with your family, they're kind of
right. I mean, the only thing Fred says is, or he didn't even say anything. Just kind of like, "You okay?"
Yeah.
Getting off the Pelican. That's like it. And even after the Master Chief experiences a hallucination, they just kind of like, all right, whatever, we're good, let's go.
Yeah. I was expecting a bigger thing from that. Like they.
Right.
You just had a hallucination with Cortana.
Like, wait a second, what's? Yeah. So, speaking of Cortana, and I want to kind of go into the overall story later, but with Cortana, I was really upset that the direction they took her in. And I understand rampancy is, it's not a pleasant thing, and that, previously we're not able to come back from that, but they took it to where you almost wanted to hate Cortana, because of, what she's become, what she's doing, and her rampancy makes her the villain, as opposed to, I don't know, letting him grieve, normally, or something. I would almost rather they continued with the sad part of the end of Halo 4 than to turn around and make her a villain.
Yeah, I agree. like part of me is happy they did bring her back because like them two had such a big relationship in the previous games.
Right.
But like just to see her just because that's a big flip from how she previously was. She was always there to help you, guide you, do things, and to help you do things. And now she's like, she's that big villain in the game that you're there to stop.
Right.
And as playing the entire time, I'm like, you could see it. You can feel it.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
And then she betrays John at the end.
Yeah.
Spoilers.
I think we're past that point there.
I know, but still.
Yes.
Spoilers. But I didn't agree with how they brought Cortana back.
Gotcha.
And like doing the entire time with Chief and Cortana, Blue Team seems fine with it. Like, we're here for you.
Yeah. It was kind of bland and no real character to them.
Yeah, I was expecting a whole lot more personalities with each character. Each something they're bringing to the game.
Yeah.
And they're just kind of like it feels like they're there just to be there. If that makes sense.
No, it does, and that's kind of moving into the actual the gameplay territory as well, not just the storyline, but the gameplay. They felt like the AI was just kind of weak. I mean, you could tell them, go over here, use that weapon, or attack this target, which was great. And again, that was one of those new features that I did enjoy.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I felt they were really weak.
Yeah.
I mean, half the time you're rescuing your team members.
Yeah.
And, you're focused more on trying to keep them alive than progressing through the campaign or the encounter that you're at.
Yeah, like going into the campaign, like playing these, I was expecting them to have everything they were in the books,
Right, because they're completely each and every one of them has their own sort of powerhouse.
Yeah.
Master Chief obviously was the luck, and he could come out of any situation. But I mean, Kelly, she was a speedster. She was their scout. Faster than any other Spartan. Linda was the sniper.
Yeah.
And in the books, I mean, obviously there's going to be some translation between a book character and a gameplay AI.
Yeah.
But I mean, she was nigh unto godlike with a sniper rifle, and then you have her. I sat there and watched her AI character fight with a grunt for about a good 2 minutes.
Yeah.
Like real Linda would have been like, boom, done.
That's smooth. I can understand if they don't want to make them too. Oh, so you're just standing there while they do all the work.
Right.
But at the same time, I'm like, I expected so much more from the Spartan 2s that they had in there. Because, like, I was expecting something like the Kelly to do something that would be like, and she's there.
Right.
She's
to illuminate each of their strengths.
Yeah. I can't remember what Fred's is at the moment, but
as far as I can recall, Fred was just the. I don't know if he was. No, I think Sam was the biggest.
Yeah, Sam was the biggest.
But Fred was just the. He was actually the better tactician and the better. Not necessarily leader, but he was actually good at tactics and whatnot. Even more so than John was.
What's his name? There's even better one than Fred. Kurt, that's it.
Yeah.
Kurt was they say Kurt was the best, at least when it came to, I think, the feelings. They said his feelings kind of, at least screwed over John's team. And
yeah.
And I think at least Kurt had that. Is this a trap? This is a trap. I feel like this is a trap. We're not doing this.
Right. Yeah. So another thing, I mean, you mentioned, Spartan 2's, obviously, one thing I didn't really enjoy too much was how they compared the 2s to the 4s.
Yes.
So yeah, I mean, reading through the books and, knowing what, kind of specs, if you will, they came up with for the 4s. I mean, there's no contest. I mean, there should be no contest between a 2 and a 4.
Yeah.
A Spartan 2 should just be able to mop the floor with a 4.
Yeah. A 2 was a powerhouse,
Right.
They said, they even said they were even better than what they expected. They ran faster. They did everything better than they initially expected what they can do, because they had all these tests and all these stuff that said what they can do, and the ones who passed actually were better than what they thought.
Right.
And then you see that fight Master Chief has with Locke, and not completely trash Locke, but Master Chief shouldn't have had that much trouble with.
Right. Yeah, and it kind of at the end, they kind of show that, he's just kind of like, okay, down child.
Yeah.
And freezes Locke and puts him away. Yeah. But, it should have been, I think it should have been a lot more one-sided than it was.
Yeah.
And I know I've heard a lot of arguments from people that, the armor's newer. It's more upgraded than Spartan 4 armor is.
Yeah.
I'm like, well, that may be, but you're dealing with an augmented human that even without their armor, they are they're big, they're powerful, they're way more advanced. And then you add the Mjolnir armor to it, whereas the Spartan 4s, they have a slight augmentation to allow them to use the suit, but it's really all suit.
Yeah.
And I think even in, with coming up against, Forerunner technology and all this and upgrading the suits, I still think that a Generation 2 Spartan with Mjolnir armor would way...
Yeah. Because from what I understand, the Spartan 4s, people want to say Mark 4s, but that doesn't make sense. The Generation 4 is for them, they just have the basic everything, just the basic augmentations to use the suit. And I always understood that although the suit's more upgraded and everything, I always saw it as the more basic version of the Mjolnir armor that they have.
Yeah.
I always saw that the Spartan 2's armors were the fully done how it was supposed to be, although they're a little bit older.
Right.
And just to see him go, I can understand if I know Locke's good at his job, but even with the upgrades that he has, it shouldn't have been like that, because Master Chief, obviously, because Master Chief has been fighting against the Covenant, who has obviously always had better armor than they had. Right. For years, and it has never slowed him down. And then all of a sudden he has trouble with the Spartan 4, who's a little, well, not say little guy, but
right.
That was one of the big. I was like, because they started the fight scene, I was like, yeah, Master Chief's going to kick his ass. And then you see this. You know what I'm talking about.
I do.
And I was finally glad when he kind of stood up after you see his visor get cracked, and you see, you don't see his face, but you got to get that feeling of okay, this is taking too long. I'm gonna end this.
Yeah, he's like, okay, enough playing around. Time to finish this.
Yeah.
So.
And he was just like, here you go.
So, but yeah, so I mean that's kind of our main things. The last thing I kind of want to touch on was, again, going back to actual gameplay. I felt that it was you hit an area, you dealt with 3 or 4 waves of an enemy, you move on to the next area, you repeat the process.
Yeah.
And it felt a lot more I don't want to say recycled, but it just kind of felt more systematic and robotic.
Yeah.
Than in previous Halo games, where there was kind of a bit more exploration and ways to approach an encounter.
Yeah.
I mean, there wasn't always necessarily a stealth option, but I mean, you could skirt around an encounter sometimes, and like take out a few grunts and skip the elites or something like that. And,
yeah, it kind of felt like we had to do those 3-4 waves each time we were in a fight.
Right.
And we didn't have a real big choice to it. It was like, okay, now let's go over here and you're doing this fight. Now you're down this another fight, and it kind of got like I'll still play it again, but it kind of feels a little old, a little bit like it. It was not the Halo I'm used to, kind of. It's still good, but it's I was expecting Halo 2, kind of.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean those were my main issues with the game.
There's a couple more that I had a little bit problems with.
Sure.
Yes, for me, like the Warden.
Okay.
The Warden, not that I completely hated the guy. I can see why they brought him in.
Right.
But he's such a douche. Oh.
See, I don't know. I kind of liked the introduction of the Warden. I kind of again. I was really uncomfortable with starting to hate Cortana as the villain, and so when the Warden kept getting in your way and kept being the douche.
Yeah.
It made me a little happy because I could direct my anger towards the Warden and focus on fighting him, and well, he's in my way right now. But yeah, what?
For me, it's just like when you first beat him, I expected that to be it. I wasn't expecting him to come back. So I thought he was down and out, and then they bring Warden back. I was like, oh. Because for me, that was that first fight I had with them did not go well for me. That was that went bad. That was I may have had a few rage quits with that guy.
Yeah.
That I was like, it might have been because I was playing on a harder setting, but.
Yeah, I haven't been working through it on Legendary, and I haven't gotten to any Warden battles yet, but...
I haven't done it on Legendary yet. I tried Heroic, and that guy is on Heroic.
Yeah, I'm not really looking forward to finding him on Legendary, but I think I gotta do it.
Probably, probably it's because of the Heroic that I don't like him so much. Because that fight, he just wiped the floor with us every time, at least me. And, he always had a thing out for me. There'd be several, the whole team would be surrounding him, shooting him, and he'd walk past all of them to attack me. I'm like, what about them? You hit them.
And that was actually, was something that I found kind of, irked me. But while you could, tell your team to go over there or focus on that enemy and whatnot, you couldn't use them to take aggro, if you will.
Yeah.
And no matter what, the enemy, as it were, would focus on you, no matter where you were. I was fighting some hunters, and I was like, all right, everybody take on that specific hunter.
Yeah.
And actually, first, before that, I sent them over to the opposite side of the room. So I could get a good shot at his back, right?
Yeah.
Makes sense to me.
Yeah.
And I was up on the ductwork, waiting for them, and then as soon as I popped out of cover to shoot his back, I mean, instantly just whipped around and started firing at me. I was like, you have 3 Spartans over there.
Yeah.
That are all firing at you. Can you
not aim at the one guy?
Yeah, and it was just seemed a little cheap.
Yeah. Yeah, because like that, like the 3 spawns right there seemed the bigger threat than the one back here shooting at your back.
Right, and it kind of eliminated the use of your team as a as an ally or as a a useful team.
Yeah.
Because you couldn't have them pull aggro; it wouldn't work.
Yeah.
So I mean, I just had them pick off the various elites on one side, and I'd work on the other side.
Yeah.
But
for me, some of the time I used it a lot, but at some of the times I was like, forget it, because like I tell them to do stuff, and it feels like they're a little useless. Like they didn't.
Yeah. Well, I watched them. I went down from a high area to low area, and walked right into the middle of a group and was like, oh well, I'm dead. And sure enough, I mean, they just came in one right after another, dead. It's like,
yes.
Okay, all right.
That has happened several times for me. And they don't even try to distract the enemy while one guy gets you. He's just like, let's all go and get shot together. And
yeah, the concept of cover doesn't always work. So I mean, there's definitely some AI improvements that can be done there, but.
There is I don't want to completely trash the game. There are a couple good things they did about it.
Yes.
Go ahead.
Yeah, it's still a decent Halo. Yeah. And I'll still play it because I'm a Halo fan.
Yes.
And I am loyal to the end, whatever end that might be.
Same here. I've bought every Halo game.
Yes.
I've been through almost every Halo book.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So and let me just say that I'm glad that I know that there's another game coming.
Yeah.
Because if not, that ending was such junk.
Yeah.
Such junk.
Yeah.
It's like, wait, that's it? That's the end?
Yeah.
All right. Next game better come out soon because if I didn't know that there was another game,
yeah,
I would be very upset with that ending and that would have lost me on Halo.
Yeah, I think that would have been the thing for a lot of Halo fans if that was the ending and they were like, that's it, that's done.
Yeah.
We're done. And that's there was another game like that for me that ended like terrible, like a horrible ending, a horrible game. And almost like they're coming out with another one, but I'm almost hesitant to get it because of how badly it ended. And
right.
I don't I looked at this and I'm like, oh no, please don't do this for Halo. I love Halo too much for this to happen. and then like knowing another game comes out is like they can fix this.
Right.
Like they can do a better ending than this. This is not the Halo ending that we're going to be stuck with.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I think we've sufficiently ripped Halo 5 to shreds.
Not yet, sir. There's one more thing that we did not.
I think I'm running out of battery.
Well, it won't take long.
All right. We'll keep going, and we might have to do some creative editing.
Yes.
So, what you got for me?
When Cortana has AIs join her, because she said she fixed
the rampancy problem.
Yeah, she fixed the rampancy problems. Like a bunch of AIs joined her, but because of the rampancy problem, you fixed that. I can understand why other AIs would join.
Yeah.
But the one who didn't join was the one for Infinity's AI.
Yeah, Roland.
Like, I don't understand why he didn't. I can understand if he didn't like Cortana, but she does have the fix for the rampancy problem, so I was a little confused on why he didn't join, or at least thought about it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, my thing was that he it wasn't that he didn't, it was that he was like one of the only ones to do it. Like, I mean, obviously they had to do it all in a short cutscene or something, but like it seemed like every other AI was joining her.
Yeah.
But only Roland. Like, what made Roland so special?
Yeah.
I would have preferred if they did more like, there were more resistors and more AI that were smart enough because there's the smart AIs and the dumb AIs, but the smart ones, at least more of them that thought it through and was like, wait a second, this doesn't compute.
Yeah. But, not that I would say I have a problem with him, but like he's been very like throughout the games he's been in, he's been very pro AI. Like he's been talking back to him because like some of the things he said made me think like because when they're talking and he's arguing like, why don't you like her? Because she didn't die when she was supposed to. And, yeah, like when he says things like that, it kind of makes me think, why didn't he join? Because he's so strong since he's been so strong to the AI cause.
Right.
For lack of better.
Yeah, no, I hear you.
Yeah. That was one of the bigger things. I sat there and I was thinking, crap, he's going to join too. Infinity's one of the most, if not the most high-tech ship they've created up till this point.
Right.
And so, like, why hasn't he, or at least thought about it?
Yeah, it's a fair point.
Yeah.
So.
That was my last...
last rant.
Last rant for now. There's
for
always...
Now, yeah.
We can always do a part 2 later.
Part 2.
For other things we find and be like...
Yes. Well, thank you for tuning in. Bit of a long video today, but we appreciate it. And feel free, leave your comments, your thoughts on Halo 5, thoughts on our videos. That's it, and we'll see you around.